Greetings, it's Mia. So today we're going to be talking about the symbolism on dragonflies, and I'm so excited about this one actually. Dragonfly's genius name is Odontia, which is actually synonymous to Otentia, which is a Japanese sword that is used by samurais in Japan, more so in ancient times, between the 13th century and the 18th century, where there was an aristocrat family that actually aristocrat families that joined and unified to protect their interests and to protect their families. And they aligned and created an elite group of samurais that actually used this sword. When we look at dragonfly symbolism, we look at change in perspective, self-realization, joy, creativity, good fortune, prosperity, better times ahead, achieving goals and dreams, restoring health. Oh yeah, and also adaptability. So the really amazing thing about dragonflies, why they have all these different synchronicities as far as all these different symbolisms that connect them to not only um trans transformation, but also connect them to these samurais, is that dragonflies actually live the majority of their lives in water, and they're called nymphs, what actually is a Latin word for demigoddess, which is also something that brings like a mystical aspect to the dragonfly, as well as understanding that it has a deep association with water energy, which is divine feminine and very yin. When they're in the water, they don't have wings, and they actually have this amazing tactic for hunting their prey. And a dragonfly actually has 100% success rate, and well, almost 100%. So 99% success rate on attacking its prey and achieving success. That is almost unheard of in the insect and the animal kingdom. So it's quite impressive. Another thing about dragonflies is they have two transformations, which is completely different than what a butterfly or a caterpillar would experience. They actually break out of their shell, their skeleton, their exoskeleton shell, and they transform once in the water. Then they do another transformation where they transfer into the water as well. It only takes 2 hours for their shell to actually harden, for them to be back on their feet and just moving again and hunting their prey. Another thing about that is once they make the third transformation, they're out in the land, which shows that they understand the water and the earth aspects, which is the emotion. If we look at the mysticism behind it, the emotion and also the earthly matters, and know how to combine the two. When they go into the third transformation, they actually develop wings and now they can fly, which is very symbolic of just understanding your emotions, understanding having emotional intelligence. And when you actually have a very strong moon or a very strong emotional intelligence, you can thrive much better in the world. It's easier to navigate the world because you have a better understanding of your emotions in relation to everything else. So there's a very deep symbolic aspect of the dragonfly, and this is why it's also seen as adaptable, and associated with transformation and also a shift of perspective, because they're in the water and they're also on the earth. So they have different perspectives of life on earth. Then they transform and then they can fly. So now we're talking about air element. So going back to the hunting, when we look at the samurais, as well. Oh, let's actually rewind. Another thing about understanding water and understanding the emotions and also understanding the matter is having a sensitivity, but also having a firmness at the same time. And when you look at the dragonfly, they have that because they have been in both waters. They've been in the water, they've been in the earth, they've been in the air. So they understand the adaptability and also understand the different spheres of life intuitively. And another thing about them is going back to the Japanese warrior and also the connection between the dragonflies. When you look at the Japanese warriors, they used to actually keep um, the dragonfly emblem ingrained in their helmets. So they actually made helmets that looked exactly like dragonflies, showing that they understood the accuracy of the dragonfly and its hunting skills, saying that they are also that accurate in their hunting skills or in their protection skills as far as killing people that are trying to either hurt family members or protecting their interests, because these were very elite samurais. And like I said, when we talk about the word attensa, that means the five swords of heaven. When we think of five, we think of the five elements that are related to the Tai Chi symbol and Qigong. So this is very deep. And then another thing about the dragonfly is that it's actually older than dinosaurs and has fossils that have been here and been discovered that are much, much older than any dinosaur that ever walked this earth. So they're very old. Their wings are very fragile. So if they run into anything, those wings can break and they can become prey. They also hunt their own. So if they need to eat, they will kill their own, which is crazy. You see that in this world too, which shows like the animalistic nature, even though this is an insect. What else did I want to talk about? I think I almost covered it all. Oh, so another thing about the Japanese warriors that was amazing is that the Japanese warriors are actually the Japanese samurais, to be correct. They actually used to invest their money and their resources into the arts. So when they weren't fighting, they were investing into things that require a level of sensitivity and also creation. So people that tend to create in the art world are very sensitive beings, and it's a certain process that goes with that. So that shows like the understanding and the intelligence of the samurai to understand the different aspects of life, and knowing that when it's fighting a war, when you're in war all the time, you need things to soften your energy to keep a good balance. So that shows that they had a super intelligence and understanding not only of how to keep balance in life, but also they were intelligent enough to understand that the dragonfly and themselves had a direct relation into the way that they exist, because we already talked about the dragonfly having delicate wings, and if it basically runs into anything, a plant or anything, it could break its wings because its wings are very fragile. However, when it goes after its prey, it's very fierce. So it reminds me just of the samurais. And then one other thing that's very interesting about the dragonfly is that it's very adaptable, meaning it can change its direction at any given second. Like at any second, it can just change direction and go in a completely different way. And if you look at skillful samurais, they were skillful fighters, being able to change directions and get creative in their fighting skills. So there's a lot of symbolism when it comes to the yin and the yang, understanding earth and the spiritual realm, and combining the two, and also understanding the balance and having a higher perspective of seeing the two in unification. So that pretty much covers the dragonfly. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you on Thursday. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Much love, much peace.